the council was saying that we were overpaying our police officers and our firefighters, that 182,000, or that they were making just way too much money. And I have a problem, with all due respect to Mr. Joyce and Mr. Lobdell, who have just done a great job to get us to this point. I have a problem with putting these jobs out to bid and opening them up, because it's top heavy. We're creating more bureaucracy, and we are still in an austere time. We are not being fiscally responsible. And it's my understanding that that's what we're supposed to do. I really think that also having our own secretary or executive secretary is superfluous. I read my own emails. I basically do my own correspondence, or I type it out and have Kelly type it up. I do appreciate the staff helping me to make my appointments, but recently I've been making a lot of my own appointments because Ms. Goldsworthy went down to the city clerk. So I think it is totally over the top. We are empire building if we're going to think that we need a staff. Now there's supposed to be a little area where we're going to have our own offices up on the 5th floor. So this is a city of 110,000 people. We are not here to be up in the ivory tower, so to speak, we're supposed to be down with the people. And this is putting another level of administration and people between us and the public. The other thing I have a concern with, Mr. Hatch, and I mentioned this to you on an email earlier today, is that Ann Schultz did an awesome job legislatively, and I'm not sure that combining that task, we don't do too much of it right now because it's not really a priority, but I'm not sure that the same person who can do the event planning and community affairs is really the expert in handling that whole legislative aspect, with understanding the bills, writing the letters, informing us of what's coming down, working with the League of Cities or the ACOCC. So I don't like this part down here on new positions. It's way too much money. We can't afford it. And I think going step by step right now, the way we've been doing it is okay, but I just don't want to, I don't think it needs to be made permanent for and the other thing is it's confusing. Public affairs manager, communications and marketing, public affairs manager. The people in this city are going to get confused about who to talk to, and they're going to be talking to the wrong one. Then they have to transfer the call or transfer the email. So I think we can get along with one secretary and just make these positions, public affairs manager and what I just said, the 2 public affairs managers on a consultant basis, and not have to pay the pensions and the benefits. We're getting ourselves back into the situation where we just got out of, but we got rid of firemen and policemen and employees so that now we can have more people on the 5th floor. That doesn't make sense to me.
Mayor Pro Tem.
Question for CEO Hatch. First off, Chris Goldsworthy, what did she do for us before?
Mr. Mayor and members of the City Council, Chris Goldsworthy performed as an executive secretary for the City Council for approximately 5.5 years that I was with the city. We have a heavy workload in the city clerk's office for a variety of different challenges and issues that we have, and Chris is now relocated to the city clerk's office in that same capacity as an executive secretary.
So we've had an executive secretary for 5.5 years. Until recently we didn't have one? Is that what we're saying?
That's correct. That position was relocated.
So we've always had one. That's
Correct.
not new. And then was her pay in package close to the 80,000, 184? I mean.
Correct.
Okay. I'll be frank with you on the 2 positions at $182,000. I think the number's too high. I think right now we're getting as an outsourced at $75 an hour is about $150,000 a year if you go with 50 weeks. I don't think we should just continue to load and pack onto that. So as far as from a budgetary standpoint, if you want to plug that number in, but I would look to both those positions to come in less than $182,000. In addition, I don't understand exactly what we have to pay for an executive secretary, and maybe that's some kind of line item and that's some kind of block, and we have to pay it based on previous negotiations. But my secretary will shoot me if she saw people getting paid $80,000, $184 total package. The private sector just doesn't pay that kind of money. So, again, if you're the CEO, I'm going to support you on this here, but I'd like to see the actual numbers in the end coming lower. Also, I understand these positions are open. They're not given to anybody at this point in any way, shape, or form. I want to make sure these are open positions. So the market looks at this and sees how many applications we have come in for these jobs. But I will be supporting this. I'll go ahead and make a motion to approve the following organizational structural change effective October 1st. But I would like to see there's some negotiation on moving those numbers south.
Mr. Mayor?
Second.
Second by Monahan. Mr. Hatch, CEO Hatch, I just have one question that jumped out because everyone's been asking a lot of questions. You started explaining at the beginning, but the positions are going to be openly recruited, correct?
Correct.
Okay, I heard something about offering it to former employees, or there were some layoffs or something to that effect. But I just like to throw out there, I mean, just over at the Sand District, they just had 680 applicants for a pretty much entry-level secretary position. So you're going to get a lot of applicants, and we're going to get some incredibly qualified people that are going to come looking for work. I mean, it's happening everywhere. The unemployment is so crazy that people are incredibly qualified on what they're looking for. So I think, like Mayor Pro Tem Rickheimer said, not sure what the contractual agreements are in the MOUs, but if there's a way to push down the levels, we might be able to do that and still retain the incredible quality that's going to come in and amount of applicants that's going to actually take a lot to go through. Anyway, we have a motion and a second.
Yeah,
for the
Mr. Mayor.
discussion. Member Lee.
Just final comment, just for point of clarification for Mayor Pro Tem Rickheimer. Yes, I think we all appreciated Chris Goldsworthy's assistance to the city council and also Kelly's. It was kind of like they shared, it was multitasking and job, they were cross-trained. That's the word I was using. But I think that we do definitely need one other secretary there, but we do not need two. Chris did a great job, Kelly also, and so I don't think that the two, the communications managers, I don't think they need a secretary. We have computers. Excuse me, I have the floor. Thank you very much. And also that one secretary is sufficient for all of that, and for the new assistant city manager or CEO when he or she comes. But again, I think it's too much at the top, and it's unnecessary. We all have computers. We all do our own work.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Further discussion?
Yeah, Mr. Mayor.
Councilman Menson.
I want to clarify. I think I hear what Councilwoman Lease is saying. She's saying she doesn't want those positions to be permanent because she believes them to be temporary positions, but eventually we don't want to have a communications person. I'm going to assume that's the case. So I think that's really the scariest thing here, is that we have a councilwoman that's been on.
Excuse me, Mr. Mayor, I don't appreciate
Member
the
Lees,
comments.
Mr. Mensinger does have the floor. Let him
Okay,
finish.
well, I want the floor after him, please.
Thanks, Councilwoman Lease. I think really what we need to understand here is that these positions need to be permanent. Transparency is permanent, and we don't want a consultant or somebody who's going to be at the whims of council people, like I'm referring to. So I am going to support the motion. I think it's important that we understand right now that what some council people are saying on the dais tonight is that they want it to be a temporary position so they can eliminate it when they get the opportunity.
Member Lees.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I didn't say that, and nobody heard me say that. I am just trying to be fiscally responsible up here with the taxpayer money. And with all due respect to Mr. Joyce and Mr. Lovedell, they've helped us through a very challenging time and helped us get some special events going, and also transparency. But actually, I think their jobs could be combined into one person and kept as a consultant. And I think that could be done. Please don't put words in my mouth. I think they're doing a great job, but I think once we get through this, we're not going to need the media outreach that we have now. It will be different. We've had a lot of challenges since the first of the year.
Call the question.
That motion carried 3-1 with Councilmember Lees voting no.
Okay, it's 1:20 in the morning. Council, I'd like to just skip the comments and go straight to closed session. Would that be okay with everybody?
Fine here.
Certainly.
Okay, is there anyone that would like to, oh, we got to read them into the record. Sorry, go ahead, Julie.
We have 5 closed sessions before the City Council this evening. The first closed session is a conference with Thomas R. Hatch, Chief Executive Officer and Labor Negotiator, Agency Negotiator regarding employee organizations, the Costa Mesa City Employee Association, CMCEA, Costa Mesa Firefighters Association, CMFA, Costa Mesa Police Officers Association, CMPOA, and Costa Mesa Police Management Association, CMPMA, the Costa Mesa Firefighters Management Association, and the Costa Mesa Division Managers Association, and that is pursuant to Government Code Section 54957.6. The next closed session is a conference with legal counsel regarding existing litigation, Costa Mesa Employees Association versus the City of Costa Mesa, a municipal corporation et al., Orange County Superior Court case number 30-2011, 00475281, and that is pursuant to Government Code Section 54956.9A. The next closed session is a conference with legal counsel regarding the anticipated litigation, significant exposure to litigation pursuant to Subdivision B of Government Code Section 54956.9. That's one case. Pursuant to California Government Code Section 54957, Public Employment Senior Engineer request for special leave of absence. And pursuant to Government Code Section 54957, Public Employment Firefighter request for special leave of absence.
Is there anyone that would like to address the City Council on the closed session items? Seeing none, we are moving into closed session.